Hey everybody, I'm Zach.
And I'm Jesse.
Are you wondering what these things are? We're going to tell you all about them next on Now Let's Review. All right, so we have a lot of people out there who've been mentioning this word Superbox. And I was like, okay, what is it? And people would tell me that it's like $300 or $400 and then you can watch limitless movies and TV and pay-per-view. And I was like, for $400 for a year? And they're like, no, you just buy it. And I was like, forever you can watch all this stuff? Because like that would be thousands and thousands of dollars. So I looked into it and I couldn't really get a straight answer. And I even went to lots of YouTube videos and I even looked at some lawyers and no one could give me like a straight answer. So I thought I just went to the companies and I said, okay, send them to me so that I can check them out. And so we've been checking them out. And I've got the answers for you now. So would you like to know what these are?
We might be the only place on the internet brave enough to tell you.
These are just little computers like little phones in your pocket, right? They're just kind of like this. I want to give you the stats on them so you kind of understand. The Superbox over here on the right has 4 gigabytes of DDR RAM. So does the Digibox. They have 64 gigabytes of eMMC storage. They both run Android 12. This one has a quad-core ARM Cortex A53 processor, and they both run in 6K. So that means
if you have a 6K TV, you could run it in 6K.
Right. Okay, Zach, so you're saying you can buy this and plug it in and get limitless TV and stuff? No, that's illegal.
Let's talk about what these things can do, what the legal idea is behind a box like this.
Do you know what a Chromecast is?
Yeah, it's that little googly looking dongle thing, and I plug it into my HDMI port on my TV, and then I can cast my like YouTube videos or my phone to that Chromecast, and I can watch stuff on my TV, even a non-smart TV.
Right, you can watch Google TV on a dumb TV. It basically makes your dumb TV smart. And so with a, say, Chromecast, you're getting all of Google's products and services through that Chromecast. And that's basically what these are. These are just a little bit more pumped up. Those Chromecasts are tiny and they're programmed just for that one use. These have more storage and more processor capacity. So you might be like, okay, so then what do you use it for? I'm gonna give you a legit use case for these. Okay. So you know how when we travel, in fact, we were in Austin recently, and I wanted to be able to make sure that we could watch Netflix or whatever we wanted to watch in the hotel room, even if the hotel didn't offer it. Like if they didn't have smart TVs.
Right, and so sometimes you go to an Airbnb and they have a smart TV and you can sign in to say Netflix and you can watch your Netflix, right? And that's great until you forget to sign out of your Netflix and now somebody else is watching and you're like, well, who is watching this show? I don't watch this show.
Right.
And that's because other people at the Airbnb didn't log you out. They decided, it's free Netflix, I'll watch it.
So you could bring your Chromecast or one of these, plug in your HDMI cable, and all of your settings you would have saved ahead of time, your Hulu or your Netflix or whatever you legitimately have, would be up and running. You would just have the remote and you'd be like watching TV. It would take you like 10 seconds.
And so basically what you'd do is log in to your Netflix account that you own and pay for on this thing. You already have a Netflix account and you just log in just like you do on your phone or whatever.
Right.
And then you bring this with you and hopefully, if all goes well, it'll work and you'll be in the hotel room able to watch them.
Well, and we tested it. We went to Austin and this particular hotel didn't have smart TVs. They had dumb TVs.
Well, they had those hotel TVs where they were like, hi, here are the 8 channels that you have and also let's tell us about your hotel.
And so we were like, no, I don't want to watch any of these 8 channels and maybe HBO. I want to watch what I want to watch. So I plugged this in and we could watch what we wanted to watch, our legal Netflix, our legal Hulu, with just the remote. It was really easy because this is all we had to bring with us.
Right. Now, there's other stuff that you can do with these because these are little computers. They're like little phones. They run Android 12, and you can download apps on them. And they have on the little app store, little apps that you can download. And when you download those apps have movies on them, and they have TV shows on them, and they have live TV, and they have pay-per-view on them. And you go, oh, good. This is what the $300 or $400 was for. No.
I checked with legal scholars on this one, and if you did not pay for those services, then you are breaking the law.
Even if you did pay for those services, using the apps that are included, they're not downloaded on the box when they sell it to you.
Right, so this is how they get around it. A lot of people said to me, Zach, this has to be legit because they sell it at Best Buy. And I said, well, that's because the box itself is not breaking the law. It's what you do when you bring it home.
For example, if you go to Best Buy and you buy a laptop computer, perfectly legitimate, then you can do a number of illegal things using your laptop computer, and you don't get to go back to Best Buy and go, how could you sell me this thing?
Right.
You could also go to Home Depot and buy a hammer, and you can go work on your house with that hammer, and that's completely legal. Or you could bludgeon someone over the head with it. You don't get to go back to Home Depot and go, how could you sell me this weapon?
Exactly. And so that's why people think that they're doing something legal. Also, the price. When you buy a Chromecast, it's like $50. So when you buy this for $300 or $400, I mean, this is $349, I believe. Then you go, well, that's so much money that I guess it makes sense that I'd be getting all this limitless TV.
There are things that are very similar items, basically little boxes just like this that you can buy online for like $30 or $40 that will do the exact same thing. We saw that Linus Tech Tips had a video where he tested those out. And those things, while they do very similar things to this, you might go, great, I could save money and I'll break the law. Who cares about laws? They were full of malware. I'm not a tech hacker like Linus is. I have not tested whether or not this thing is being connected onto my home network, and if it's spying on me, if it's controlling things on my network or putting malware on my computers.
Well, here's the thing. When you hook up anything like this, if you don't know what you're doing, and if you don't have a guest Wi-Fi network or a guest LAN network, then you probably are putting it right onto your main network. And if there's something malicious on it, or if someone wants to get at it and turn it on, they probably can. So I wouldn't use it just for that reason, because I don't know enough about it, and putting it on my network seems pretty scary when I don't know enough about it. So that's one reason why I would buy a name brand thing like a Chromecast from Google, because even though Google is going to spy on me, let's be honest, at least I think to myself, well, Google is going to spy on me in ways that I already understand.
Right, they're gonna sell me ads.
Right.
They're not going to take over my computer and ransom me all of my photos of my grandchildren or start Bitcoin mining in the middle of the night.
A lot of them are going to use your computer to start actually doing like reviews or watches of YouTube videos. Have you ever noticed that like there's these bots that watch things and you can pay people to like get more views? That's how they do it. They get into your system and then you've got a legit, let's say, European or American address, and then they watch things and
Using your IP,
and it looks like it's a legit view. And so even though you're not harmed by that, you don't know what's going on, they're using up your resources, your data, and
your electricity.
And they're basically saying that they're you when they're not. So there's a lot of reasons I would stay away from these, mainly being that they claim that they have limitless entertainment, which if you watch their ads closely, they don't really cross the line into breaking the law because they don't claim anything direct. They'll just show you images of like people happily watching movies, but they don't say whether that's your own Netflix account or theirs.
Right. And again, you can use these completely legitimately. Whether or not this is riddled with malware, we don't know. And they can get away with saying limitless whatever because you could just pay for the limitless stuff.
There is one piece that might be legit. We haven't been able to prove it false, which is you can throw an antenna up and digitally watch TV that may not be in your area. I live in Boston, and you might get Los Angeles television. That's probably legal because there's ads on there, and so when I watch a ball game, I'm getting the ads. This can give you that. You can watch in Chicago when you're not in Chicago. But that's not all it offers. It also offers pay-per-view, 10,000 movies, thousands of TV shows.
And you might say, oh, well, this is great. You know, okay, so it's illegal, big deal. There are some movies on there that are in Greek and haven't been translated, and there's no subtitles. You might be watching a TV series and there's gonna be missing episodes.
Right.
You're not paying for a professional service, so you're not getting a professional product.
Yeah, when we were testing this, we saw that there was sometimes an episode where the video's moving at one speed and the audio's moving at another. So yeah, there's not any professionalism to it, which was the first tip off to me that something was wrong. And that's why I reached out to more sources. They told me basically, look, if it's too good to be true, it ain't true.
Right. I think the thing that annoys me so much is that they're taking a $30 product, marking it up to $400.
Which is just enough to make you think it must be legit.
Right. And then you do the math in your head and you say, okay, well, if I watch pay-per-view every other week and I can get rid of my Netflix account and my Hulu and my this and my that, well, then $400 now, that's completely great and it's legit. It's not legit, and it is tricking people because I've met lots of people who don't know that they're breaking the law. They think that they've paid for this service when they haven't paid for the service. They're paying for a $30 box.
I will say, technically, they're just implying that you get this limitless stuff. I will say that if you're going to use it for travel, it's not a bad idea. It's just that it's too expensive. I would buy a legit $50 box from someone like NVIDIA or Google.
Or a Fire Stick. There's lots of different possibilities.
Because that, first of all, it'd be smaller. And that way you wouldn't be spending so much money. And that is great. When we travel, it is nice to have all of your accounts on a little device that you can plug in and get immediately. So no argument there. I just think that these are misleading. And so if you think that you're getting all this free entertainment and stuff, it's just not true. I know you'd be like, I don't care if I hurt the entertainment industry. We're in the entertainment industry, and if we don't get paid, we can't do our job. So I understand that if, some director or some movie star doesn't get paid, they can't do their job.
Yeah, and the law does not back up your opinion, which is fine. You're allowed to have opinions that do not coincide with the law. It's just that if you follow up on those opinions, who knows, right? You could face penalties. That's kind of the risk if you were to go down a road like this.
I feel like when enough of these are out there, I feel like just like what happened with Napster years ago with the music industry, I feel like eventually it'll catch up, and these are trackable. They have IP addresses. So I assume at some point, if the government wants to, they can track every household that has one of these and either shut them off or come to your house and knock on the door. I don't know. I just think that this has been one of those things that's been hazy and people haven't really known about it, and people have been afraid to talk about it on the internet. I don't know why. I'm not afraid to talk about it. I think we should talk about it. If there's something good about technology, let's know. And if they're breaking the law, let's know. And I just don't want you to accidentally break the law, because incidentally, people have said to me, well, I have it and I'm using it and it's legit because I paid for it. And it's like, no, it's not legit, unfortunately.
So anyway, I hope that this was helpful. Little talk about kind of the back end of this new thing.
The internet?
Well, yeah, it's basically, I mean, and none of this stuff is new if we're talking about stuff that you could do on your computer at home.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, the software that this runs, you can run on anything. And so it's been around for years, and plenty of people do.
Well, and there's plenty of places to pirate content. Right. I'm not going to tell you where or how to do it.
I mean, when I talk to my friends in China and I've said to them, like, hey, have you seen the new Dune movie, Dune 2? And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, did you go to the movie theater? Because it's only out in theaters. And they're like, no. And I'm like, so where'd you watch it? We just pirated it. Right. And they pirate everything in China, and it's just kind of accepted. And I feel like that's why, that's where these boxes come from. And I feel like there's just not a strong copyright morality going on. And I think if you just think about it for a second though, if you get to watch a $200 million movie for free, if everyone does that all the time, there'll be no more blockbuster movies made, because that's how they get paid for.
So anyway,
do you want to support the work we do, though? The legit work that we do? You can sponsor us over on patreon.com/nowyouknow. That's where for $1 a month, you can watch all of our Patreon bonus stories that we do every week. And you can help support the content we do here, where we actually had to reach out to these companies, review this stuff, do the research to find out for you what they are and how they work. So if you want to see that kind of journalism, please support us, or just hit the like button. That also helps us as well.
Yeah. And if you're mad and you think that, they're so lucky they get these, $300 items, it's actually a $30 item. And their company has already threatened to shut these boxes off.
Oh, I'm sure once they see this review, they will.
So thank you so much for, sticking with us, even when, our review, when sometimes the companies that we review for aren't very happy with us.
Right. It's, when you watch our show, you're getting our honest reviews of products. So thanks for supporting us, guys. We'll see you next time on Now Let's Review.